Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of All Access. As you know, lately I've been trying to bring in exciting new people. This is the season for crypto to expand broadly. And I've been making a very big effort for the last, I would say, 7 years or so to bring in exciting people at the forefront of their game into crypto. It started with academics, and now recently with Ava Labs, it's expanded into other sectors. And my special guest today is an incredible person, and that all of you should meet, all of you should follow. Before I introduce him, so here's what I sort of thought when I met my guest today. You know, every now and then you meet someone and you really like them. And there's a notch up from that when you meet someone and you really like them and you feel like you should have met them a long time ago. Notch above that is you meet someone, you really like them, and you feel like you've always known them. So that's the kind of connection that we had. He's a developer, he is a builder, he's an entrepreneur with a very complicated, very colorful past that spans multiple areas: fintech, gaming, and a whole host of other exciting endeavors. Some of them very big, and he's on to something even bigger. And today I want to introduce you to the CEO of Gunzilla, Vlad Korolov. Hi, Vlad. Welcome on board.
Hello, Eamon. Thank you so much for such a warm introduction. And I would like to start with saying that this is a completely common feeling, and it's a great pleasure to hear these words from you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for coming on board. So let's get started. Why don't we introduce who you are to the audience just very quickly? So your current position with Gunzilla. What is Gunzilla? What are you guys building?
I am a CEO and co-founder at Gunzilla Games, which I co-founded together with my business partner, Alexander Zoll, 3.5 years ago. Before working on Gunzilla, we stood behind one of the most famous shooter games, which united more than 150 million users worldwide, called Warface, which we operated on behalf of our own game development studio. And this story was definitely a prequel to something we're building now. This is where we evolved with Gunzilla and with Off the Grid, our amazing battle royale shooter game, which our group of very talented 200 strong team 200 people strong team had been working on for the last 3.5 years to deliver to gamers all over the world.
That's an amazing sort of story setup. And I'm sure everyone who's watching this right now is wondering, well, there's a very easy way to judge games, right? I know it when I feel it, when I play it. So maybe, if you will, before we get on to sort of go on to more detailed discussions, why don't we give a glimpse of this upcoming game to our audience? Do we want to just put in a clip and see and let the audience see for themselves just how this gameplay looks?
Come on, get out of here, you sewer rat.
Food? Please, sir, food?
Food? I ain't got no goddamn food. Now get back over to your bed before you get shot. You fuck! Where's Storm?
She's hunting the other one down. She took off.
I don't know what to say. I don't know if I was watching a game or if I was watching a movie or what, but that was amazing. So the realism, the cinematography. So can you? Why don't we start right there, just to sort of orient the audience into just how high and why the production values are so high with this game. So can you tell us a little bit about the crew behind it, the director, etc., and the vision behind this?
Sure, I would love to. Unfortunately, today, passion is not enough. Passion and excitement is not enough to create the most fantastic looking and the game which has the best game design in the world. Experience plays a huge role, and we're very proud of our team which stands behind the game, because the story which Gunzilla, the whole story about Gunzilla is that we've been not only building the game but building the company which has a potential to build the best looking and performing game in the world. So I would like to start with, of course, highlighting our chief visionary officer. His name is Neil Blomkamp. He joined us already years ago. I remember very well how I started to dream about different scenes of our game, about the universe, about the world. And when I was showing this, let's say, references from real world locations or objects, I always used Neil Blomkamp's movies. And I still cannot imagine that he joined us to work on our game. And so in our game, in all the grid, he's responsible for all of the visual objects with which players will be interacting with. So everything players are going to see in the game: the world, environment, vegetation, weapons, vehicles, characters, everything. This unique look of the whole universe. So Neil stands behind it and works pretty close, not pretty close, but super close with all of the departments involved in the production. Of course, I would like to highlight other experienced team members, like, for example, Timur Doverenko, who used to be technical director of such super famous franchises as Crysis, as Far Cry. He worked on the technology which was called CryEngine, which was acquired by Amazon in a $100 million plus deal, which is today more well known as Amazon's Lumberyard, the game engine. So Timur probably is one of the most experienced tech people in traditional gaming space. Our second technical director, his name is Dmitry Markov. He used to be technical director of also super well-known famous franchises like Metro, developed by another studio with Ukrainian roots called 4A Games. I would like to, of course, mention our amazing storyteller, which joined Gunzilla from almost the very first day. His name is Richard K. Morgan, who wrote the original story for the whole universe where the game takes place. You may also know him as an author who wrote the book, The Altered Carbon, and many people know him from the Altered Carbon show, which is one of the most highly rated shows on Netflix. Also, not many people know this, but Richard made a career in gaming as well, and he created an amazing story for Crysis 2, again, one of the most highly rated shooter games in the world by gamers across the globe. And I can talk about rest of team members for ages, but I know that we're short in time, so I would proceed to the rest of your questions if you have any.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So because it's such a star-spangled cast, right? The like if you actually really had to pay due credit to everyone who poured their hearts and souls into this thing for so many years, the list would be insanely long. I just want to focus on one person, the very first one, Neil Blomkamp. So you didn't mention the various movies that he's actually directed. And just so there is no confusion in anyone's mind, this is the very same director who did District 9 and quite a few other amazing sci-fi movies that we've all seen and loved. And it's no surprise that the gameplay looks so cinematic, so engrossing. The camera angles, the motion of everything, it's just insanely well done. And of course the attention to detail is just, it's something that blew my mind. So I'm not much of a gamer, but every now and then I check the state of the art, and the synchronization with video and audio, the realism of the sounds, the echoes, the dirt on the walls, the look and feel, everything requires, you tell us, Vlad, I mean, it's just the amount of effort involved is insane, right? How many years was this thing in the making?
The first development process 3.5 years ago, and everything you have just seen in the video and in previous videos which we dropped on the web, we made this content using Unreal Engine 5, using our tech which stands behind the game and inside of the game, and using our in-game assets. So the game literally looks the same as you're seeing it as you're seeing this video on YouTube. So many companies across the globe, especially in gaming space, they follow the approach when they just make a pretty looking cinematic trailer, which from technical standpoint of view has no connection with an actual game. We think that the gaming audience is actually very tired of this approach, because the quality of the video has no connection, and not only the quality, but the feeling from this process has no connection with an actual game. Because when they install the game, they are experiencing completely different things compared to the game trailer. This is why we decided to use our game engine, use our in-game assets. For example, when you're looking at players and characters' clothing, we are using the same technology which only several companies, the most famous game development companies in the world are using today, which is called 3D scanning. So every skin which we create for this show and for the game, we create a real-world object. We create a real-world costume, then carefully 3D scan every inch of this clothing to put it in the best possible video quality inside of the game. And I just mentioned one part of it, and we're putting the same amount of passion and love and effort. By effort, I mean time allocated by our teams, and of course, it's a quite expensive approach how to dive your audience into your game, but we believe that this is something what people will enjoy the game for.
Absolutely. I think the realism speaks for itself. I think the trailer shows you a tiny glimmer of all of the things that are possible there. But I've played this game myself, and what Vlad was pointing out is exactly right. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick and tired of those ads. I get them on Instagram all the time, which are these games where you want to play them, but then you download the game and it's something else entirely. The gameplay that's shown and what we just showed you in that trailer is exactly the same thing. Those are the characters. That's the character you move, and there's a lot that you, of course, don't get to see. The replaceable legs and arms just got me. I have to say, that wasn't so visible in the video there, but the universe is really fantastic. The guns also got me. They're also coming from a very well-known gun designer, I believe, and I think so. Let's segue back to where we were. The funny thing that I experienced, Vlad, was when you invited me to Frankfurt to your offices, and I got 3D scanned. But right before me getting 3D scanned, I walked through all these models and I held in my hand all these guns that had been designed for the game, and it's an amazing experience. So the realism is just out there, bar none. So tell us a little bit about the rest of the gameplay. Perhaps it wasn't so visible in the trailer. This is a battle royale format, right? That's what you picked. Why is that your chosen style? What do you like about battle royales?
I would like to start with saying that I'm really grateful to this universe that I have a chance to work on something I personally love, because not so many people have this opportunity. And I think, I mean, this is something what we have in common, right? So we're working on something we really love with all our heart. And you know, many people, they have different hobbies, different interests. My interests, I'm half of my heart belongs to gaming, and my favorite genre in gaming industry is battle royale genre. So before I founded Gunzilla, I played thousands of hours in Call of the Duty Warzone, in Apex Legends. I'm mentioning right now the market leaders, which made billions of dollars in revenue, and the most important thing, they united hundreds of millions of fans who love this genre. And also, I just wanted to mention that I even started to play Fortnite before this game became a battle royale. And after I played all of these games, I analyzed something. What can be made? What would I add there? I thought about it a lot. What would make audience love it even more? And of course, keeping in mind that this genre in gaming space unites more people than any other genre in shooter genre, which is the biggest one in gaming space after casual games, mostly played on mobile phones. So basically, building something on the market which has the widest possible audience. I always felt that this is the best approach. First of all, because you can make something what hundreds of millions of people will enjoy so much. And off the grid, this is something what was made with and is still being made with heart and soul for 100%. And this is the dream game which I personally want to play after I played all our competitors previously. So to make it happen, you need to innovate, and innovate in completely different fields. Why these innovations are so important? Because you need to entertain the audience with something new. Because the most terrible feeling what can prevent gamers from enjoying the game is called repetitiveness of feelings, repetitiveness of experience of something what you experience inside of the game. So people love variety, completely unpredictable ending of all of their sessions, and this is where we invested most of all in making the game felt like this is the next step. We keep the respect for everything what has been made by other games on the market. We analyzed it and made the next step, and this is OTG.
Great, thank you for that explanation. And I have a bunch of other questions that I want to move on to, but before I do that, why don't we see a little bit more of this universe and get a bit more of a glimpse into this alternative reality, this cyberpunk universe where people are just essentially torsos with detachable arms and legs and weapons.
Should have left already. Flying, I want them out alive. Can't let these butchers have them.
Yeah, agreed.
Wait till they get right up against that car. They hit the fuel cells.
Roger that.
So tell us a little bit about the cyberpunk look and feel. So that's something that clearly appeals to me. I'm not sure how much of an outlier I am. It might be the crypto in me that makes me drawn to this. It might be the sci-fi thing but I found the universe so compelling. So why cyberpunk? Why this darker look? And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the post-pandemic. I don't know what it is. But as soon as I saw this universe, it looked so amazing, so appealing. I just want to be immersed in it. But tell us a little bit about how you chose or why you chose this thing. Where did it come from? Is this where Vlad lives in his mind?
So as you probably remember, how I shared it with you, I was always a huge fan of Neil Blomkamp's movies, and I watched Elysium and District 9 for, I don't know, 100 times, them both together, and I actually enjoyed rest of Neil Blomkamp's films, for example, Chappie as well, a lot. And I was inspired. I was inspired by his vision of this sci-fi nearby futuristic future. As a person who is an entrepreneur in his heart, again, I'm talking about myself, I always try to predict how the future will look like and build products which people will like and will love in future. This is something what you have to face when you develop games, because the development process takes years. And if you make something what is popular today, in 3-4 years when you finish the development, people may not need it. So this is why future, this is something what I always dreamt about pretending how it will look like and how technology process will look like, how people will be interacting with each other, what they will be fighting for, what they will take care of. And I think that Neil Blomkamp's films, they perfectly represented this vision. And I would like to say that the dystopian future, our cyberpunk universe, this is something what I'm personally dreaming about to show to our community and gamers all over the world, and of course our team, which we united. And as you remember, I haven't mentioned many of them, who are also huge fans of this futuristic future, not sci-fi future, so we don't have lightsabers in our game, if you know what I mean. So we try to make a super real nearby future, and we're trying to do our best to let people believe in every aspect of the game, in everything. So we want them to believe that it will be possible to make this gun, that it's possible to use this vehicle. That's a very important thing, that humanity will be facing these kind of problems, which we will be showing them in the game, and which we want them to go through and get some experience, which they can get from the life, but we're doing it through the game.
Amazing. So yeah, no, I having held those guns in my hand, they're very, very real, and they're 3D printed, of course, and very, very amazing to hold. Just in the universe, when I was in it, you talked about innovation, right? One of the things that struck me when I played this game was you guys have innovated so much in this universe. It looks fascinating. I live in Manhattan. I'm no stranger to modern architecture, the cutting edge of architecture. And as I played this game, and as I walked on these like bizarre archways with glass floors and patterns in the glass, and the super shiny corporate headquarters down to the gritty underworld, as I walked through these things, I was struck with, if I was an architecture student and I was graduating today, I wouldn't want to go build architecture. It's so limiting. And I would just want to go work for Vlad, right? It's just because I can do anything I want. And I remember talking to your gun designer. Do you remember this guy? I don't know if you were there for this convo. I asked him, have you ever considered working at a real gun company? And he said, yes, of course. He's received offers. And he said that would just be 5 steps down from what I do every day. So the innovation that you can do when physical reality is no longer a limit, while remaining tethered to real reality, is just insanely cool. Like that interface if you get it right, and by every metric, I think this game nails it. It's just really fascinating. So anyway, I can just be a fanboy all day, but let me bring it back. Let's talk a little bit about innovation. What does it take to innovate in this space? Where did you push the boundaries? What was hard? What was new in this game?
So the development process involves huge number of completely different technologies. As you already know, we're building our game using Unreal Engine 5, but it's very important to keep in mind that Unreal Engine 5, it is a platform. It's not a completely ready technology to ship the next generation AAA game. So you actually need to code, to modify many parts of your game by yourself to make it look unique, to make it look like a next generation game. So besides of investing lots of resources, this is why we probably have so many people in our company working hard on this project. We innovate in animation, VFX, in actually backend code, because our game features 150 players playing live in one session. And as you remember, our game has a narrative progression. So players will be able to experience storytelling campaign on the same island where other players are fighting with each other, 150 players. So you will be interacting with NPCs, you will be interacting with lots of different in-game scenarios, which will be happening with you in a live service game. So something what will happen with you, other 150 players they will have to see it as well, and your changes, everything, how you affect the world, will affect their session as well. So it's very difficult to make it possible. This is where we invested lots of resources as well, but our experience is based on building the product which people will love, where they're gonna come again and again for years, not for days or for weeks. And if they want to show off themselves inside of this product, they will pay us for enjoying the process. So this is the way how we this is something where we feel ourselves pretty experienced, and this is something what we decided to put on steroids, this monetization model with Off the Grid, by establishing decentralized economy in our game, featuring an option to trade all in-game items between players.
Yeah,
So
let's expand on this. So this is where the blockchain comes in, right?
Exactly.
And so users will be able to buy these assets. So when we say assets, we mean guns and I don't know how much I can give away about the gameplay, but we already saw that these people have arms and legs that can be replaced, obviously clothing and other items, etc. So these are all things that go on a marketplace. Is that how this works?
Exactly. So all of the assets which players can use in the game, including, for example, hundreds of weapons animations, weapon animations and modifications, like scopes, barrels, different skins, including body parts, modified legs, hands with unique abilities. All of this in-game items, they're tradable between players, and
So how
our
do you
model is
think,
based.
sorry, I was going to ask, how do you think that's going to change what do you think this means for the players themselves, like the fact that they get to own the in-game assets, and how do you think this is going to change the relationship of the users to the game and to the community?
I would love to answer this question. So when we invented this new approach for a AAA game, we kept in our minds one aim: to increase the level of loyalty of our future clients to our product. Because if they will love it more, if they will enjoy something in this product more than in other games and even in our previous products, they will stay in the game longer. So if they find the game that the game is more reasonable to play comparing to other games, they will stay longer. They will use our services for a longer time, and of course, it will increase the level of success of this product. So today, in many other AAA games, everything what players get in the game, especially when they're paying for it. And we at Gunzilla, we believe that if somebody plays our game, even when it is a free-to-play service, they invest in us their time. So they're paying us with their time. This is why, for example, you may probably know that many social platforms like Snapchat, YouTube, they make a revenue share, right, with their influencers, which spend time on their platform to communicate with their audience. We believe that time is also has a price, and if somebody paid this time and gets any in-game asset, it should belong to him, not to us, not to somebody else. And we should not be able to prevent him from doing anything he wants, to give his in-game asset for which he fought for 600 hours to his friend, to sell it to other person, to buy a new in-game asset or to buy a new game. This time belongs to him and this asset belongs to him. This is why we invented the true ownership in our game, and we let players have the full control over them. We, in this case, we monetize only by providing this service, which enables decentralized trading between players. If they want to enjoy the game by simply playing it without paying a cent, we do not hide any in-game experience behind the paywall. We let them do it. If they want to start trading between each other, we can provide this additional feature as a live service product to them as an additional service.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of openness that I think attracted a lot of us to the blockchain space. And needless to say, this decentralized trading, decentralized ownership is taking place on a blockchain and specifically on an Avalanche subnet. So let's see, is there anything specific about Avalanche and the subnet architecture that enabled Gunzilla and Off the Grid to be pioneers in this space?
We couldn't find any other solution on the market where we could build what we originally planned to build. We publicly announced that this chain built on Avalanche subnet will be able to, so other projects will be able to use it for building their games. But to make it happen and to make it work inside of our game, we invented the special kind of blockchain validators inside of our chain, which are called NFT validators. They have no connection with gamers directly. This is purely tech part related to our chain. But we analyzed all of the other solutions which other companies on the market announced that they have it, and I can tell you that nothing worked. Nothing worked. It doesn't mean that nothing worked for us. Nothing works still. What can effort ourselves to build the same tech? This is why we're very proud with this decision, and our results, which we achieved by building on Avalanche subnet, can only prove us now that it was a right decision years ago.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. And I try not to say anything about our competitors, but this is kind of well established that Avalanche prides itself on delivering things that actually work. And I'm just grateful to hear.
Very good words. Very good words, because this is quite a unique thing to deliver what you say, and Avalanche definitely does this.
Indeed. Thank you. So let's going back to the gaming world. So what major trends do you see that's shaping the future of gaming? So how are you poised to take advantage of them? Where do you think the gaming universe is going overall?
From my point of view, Gunzilla will define a lot of things on the market, especially because we're a AAA game developer, which is working on something completely new for a traditional market. It's very difficult to innovate for existing AAA game development studios with existing APs. So, frankly speaking, it's very difficult to implement blockchain and crypto in existing projects like Apex Legends, like Call of Duty Warzone, because these game developers, for them to change the monetization model, sometimes can ruin the project because they have established pipelines, established monetization flows, and decisions like this can get them in a huge trouble. We believe that Gunzilla, with our example, will show publicly how you can make the product stand much closer to your audience, and we believe that audience will pay us with their loyalty, and this is what with their loyalty to our product, and we know that this is something what will make us super successful. But I think that Gunzilla and Play of the Grid will influence both Web3 space and traditional market a lot
I have
after the
no
release
doubt.
of
I have no doubt on that front. I think as soon as people play this thing, they're going to be like, whoa, I didn't realize that this is possible. And I'll say another thing on this front, by the way. And you know, when working with your team, this was one of our goals. And this is generally one of the tenets that we believe in, which is interaction with the blockchain should be as natural, as seamless, and as invisible as possible. And Arthur C. Clarke has a saying, you know, technology is indistinguishable from magic, and blockchain interactions that don't require hexadecimal digits, don't require a wallet, don't require, you know, silly, ridiculous browser sidecars, etc., but instead are just part of natural gameplay. That's what we strived for, and I think the game achieved it, and it's so fantastic to see that in person. I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to ask you a little bit about sort of where you're headed with this. And I want to make sure we have a little bit of time at the end to talk about you as a person. But very quickly, what are some ways that Gunzilla plans to engage with the off-the-grid community that's going to be building around the release?
It's very important that we have two different communities. We have Web3 community, and we have a traditional gamers community. And these two communities, they are so our two internal products. One is called Play of the Grid, interacts with traditional gamers. Our Web3 product, which is called Gunzilla, which provides technology which enable blockchain-related features in Off the Grid and Gunzilla-related products, interacts with Web3 communities. So why we decided to interact with these two different groups of people, first of all, through two different brands. First of all, because we need to say it officially that traditional gamers, they haven't seen any high quality Web3 product yet. This is the reality. And this is why we want to show them, first of all, a high quality product which won't ask them to create, as you just mentioned, any kind of crypto wallets manually, save seed phrases. If they don't want to, if they don't want to interact with all of this functionality, they won't see it. They will just be using it, and they will be just using the features which are based on blockchain under the hood. So I think that this is how blockchain should work. It should work under the hood of products, under the hood of services. In our case, we are interacting with traditional audience, showing them all of the advantages, first of all, of the game and the economy, which is enabled by blockchain, and our layer one blockchain called Gunzilla, built on subnet, developed by Avalanche. And second community is our crypto community related to Gunzilla component. With them, we interact in different way. With them, we cover, first of all of their needs, all of their values. And of course, we're even using different communication channels for these two groups of people. But what's important to mention, that this game is not made for Web3 community. This game is made for traditional gamers.
Yeah, no, that's great. I noticed exactly that what you just said, which is there's a very clear path from gameplay towards crypto, should one choose to follow that. But there's absolutely no push or need to go in that direction. So it's very laissez-faire. Play the game, enjoy it. It's amazing. And if you're interested in the other crypto aspects of it or the Web3 aspects of it, they're available because this thing is a native blockchain game, which takes me to my next question. You are obviously at the forefront of integration of blockchain into one of the hottest areas of growth, gaming. What advice would you have to for other studios looking to integrate blockchains into gaming? So what lessons have you learned from this entire operation?
I would highly recommend to every AAA studio to work with Avalanche.
I wasn't angry for that one, but thank you.
It's not a paid promotion, I can guarantee. It's a real advice. You ask me for advice, this is what I'm saying. Because there's one very important thing. You may have an amazing technology, which Avalanche, from my point of view, really has, which is much more advanced than many other companies. But sorry for saying this, but your business development team cannot performing very well, because when you have a huge product, you need to work very close with the developer. In our case, with Avalanche, and the support which business development team and engineering teams which they provide for every project provide very fast, in a proper way, and how they help you to build using the tech. It actually responds in all of your timelines, in all of your in your personal roadmap. So we previously announced that Gunzilla chain will serve all of the needs of very small game developers which want to save time and effort on building, for example, their NFT marketplace, their companion app wallets, which our layer 1, which is based on Avalanche subnet, will provide for game developers. But for big companies, I would highly recommend to work with Avalanche. This is the first thing from development standpoint of view. Second, from the product side, I would say build your product. Do not get distracted and by noise made on the market. Don't follow the trends of tokens, prices, which are happening today. To become really successful, you need to pretend what will work for the industry in several years. So if you build something what you believe that will work in future, from my personal point of view, this is the way how you can become really successful. So don't get distracted by noise. Build, show your customers super high quality products, and do not push them. Do not make it mandatory to interact with difficult technologies. Just carefully, in a super user-friendly way, adopt it, implement it, and use the best parts of it, and make your customer's life easier.
Thank you. That's very wise advice. So imagine that everybody takes your advice. Where do you see the industry going, the blockchain gaming industry, going in 5 to 10 years? What lies at the end of this vision? What happens when all the games have a blockchain component or a tokenomics component or an in-game economics component?
So I expect more and more game developers to switch to free-to-play model, make their products become live service games. Of course, I personally believe that all of the game developers, majority of them, will be switching to provide their customers the full control over their in-game assets, which from our point of view can be provided only by using blockchain. We believe that game developers will also, as Gunzilla, monetize through providing service, not through selling stuff directly to their customers, but they will be responsible, as we are, for mostly developing content, which audience will be paying for if they want to, maybe paying to each other, like we're doing at Gunzilla. And we believe that it will become actually a standard solution, not only for AAA games, but for mobile games, for casual games, for all of the all of these types of entertainment which people enjoy every day.
Very cool. So, last question on the gaming side has to do with essentially the future. So, imagine that it's 2025. Off the Grid has become a huge success, which I fully expect it to be, and it's a major esports platform, millions of players. What would that future look like? So, paint that picture for us.
This is the easiest question because I'm really dreaming about it. Always, for many people think that the release of the game is the most important point in the whole game's history or the company's history. But for Gunzilla, which has already spent 3.5 years on building the game, almost 4 years, it will be only the beginning. So we will continue building tons of new content, including weapons, body parts, skins, parts of the story. We'll be expanding the world every month after the release of the game. We expect OTG to be live for 10 years after the release of the game, and it will evolve on yearly basis. Maybe we will introduce new game modes. Maybe we will introduce new game design flow. For us, OTG, it's also kind of platform which can be modified for future market trends. Of course, I'm as a founder of this company and rest of Gunzilla, my rest of my Gunzilla teammates, they expect Off the Grid to become #1 multiplayer shooter in the world by daily active audience. We believe that we spend enough effort and passion and developed enough features to at least be able to stand very strong and fight with our competitors to achieve this goal. And just to end up that, it will be only the beginning. The release of the game, it's only the beginning of the story, and we will work super hard to improve every part of the game, which will, for example, we believe will need to be modified in any way to make people love it even more.
Okay, well, what I want to do next is just very briefly focus on the sort of the vision behind this entire episode that's so compelling. So could you tell us a little bit about your background and also about your partner's background? Alex and you, between the two of you, have quite a few ventures, quite a few past projects, and quite a storied past that goes far beyond gaming. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, I would love to. So first of all, I'd like to say that I was a huge fan of technologies, of hardware, of different mobile operational systems, of games from my early childhood. And while I even studied at school, I started to make the first websites about gaming space, about gaming projects. I started to build custom software for mobile phones by myself, and even worked on fixing mobile phones of my schoolmates. After this, one of the biggest achievements which happened in my life, that I co-founded as a technical director one of the largest payment systems in Europe, which was mostly focused on providing functionality to pay for online services on completely different web portals and web companies all over the world, including web services to pay mortgage and car loans from every bank customer all over the Europe. And after this, I founded other company in fintech space, which was mostly focused on providing enterprise solutions services for banks. We work with more than 50 banks all over the world. And after I got lots of struggle from working with fintech, which still has the same issues which I first time noticed 15 years ago, which I guess we're together working on fixing. I switched to my true passion, to gaming space, where I met my current Gunzilla co-founder and business partner, Alex, with whom we started to work on a number of gaming projects. including social network for gamers, which has 15 million users worldwide, called Blink, a company which provides enterprise solutions for game developers, mostly in-game voice chat, called Sonos.io. And of course, myself and Alex, we operated Warface for many years on behalf of our own studio. And this is where we gained enough experience to build the next big thing in gaming space. And I want to highlight that Warface still and was and still available on all major gaming platforms, including PC, PlayStation, Xbox, even Nintendo Switch. I believe still, comparing to Gunzilla, it's still only the beginning. I still cannot forget my roots of loving the tech. So even today, I'm collecting different old, super rare smartphones, gaming gear, gaming consoles, and of course researching everything related to software and blockchain, which is definitely another part of my belief in future.
Amazing. So, and then maybe final question has to do with the team overall. So, where is the Gunzilla team located predominantly? Where are you guys around the globe? And tell us a little bit about the background. So, what is feeding in to this amazing universe?
So today Gunzilla is headquartered in Frankfurt, Germany. We have 200 people full-time working on this project. We're planning to have 260 people at the moment of our release, so we're still hiring aggressively every month. We're mostly expanding at the moment our marketing team because we're getting closer to showing our product to audience even more and more. We also have a quite big office in Ukraine, in Kiev, where I'm personally from. And I would like to highlight that Gunzilla has some very strong roots from Ukraine, and we have a very significant part of our team who is originally from Ukraine as well. Even though today our largest office and our headquarters, as I just mentioned, we're headquartered in Frankfurt, Germany. We also have a quite big presence in London, UK, and in Los Angeles, USA. We don't have any specific allocated offices for specific aims or parts of development. So we're hiring across all our offices people for completely different departments, including engineering, animation, VFX, game design, marketing, and even storytelling. So we're trying to find the best talents across the globe. And it was the original aim why we understood that it's not possible to make Off the Grid a super success title if this game will be made only by people from one country. This is why we're trying to do our best to unite as many nations, as many talents, as many different, completely different minds from all over the world with different taste on product and games to because they're making the game. Our amazing team, our people, which we united, they're making it. And we're myself and my business partner Alex, we're only leading them, but the game represents them most of all. So this is why for us the main aim is not to our daily job with Alex is not to is not only to create a game, but first of all unite people who can build the best product ever. This is our main daily routine.
Absolutely, and I think you've done a fantastic job of bringing together some top-notch talent. Maybe last question. I keep saying this, but I keep having to ask you one more thing. I'm sure that there are quite a few people in the audience who are listening to you who are thinking, "Hey, I would love to be part of the gaming industry. I would love to go into gaming." What advice would you give them, especially to young people who want to get involved in the gaming industry?
I would recommend them to build. I can tell you that I was a huge fan when I was much younger. I was a huge fan of live real-time strategy games. such games as Command Conquer, Generals franchise, Red Alert, and many others. So I like to build in virtual dimension worlds, and all these new amazing talents which want to become want to join gaming industry, they have an opportunity to start building today. There are so many free technologies, and of course I would love to recommend to use Unreal Engine as the most promising technology and the strongest technology, the most modern tech on the market to and start building. Start building today. Something what you have in your heart, in your brain. Start building worlds. Start building different scenarios in which you believe in. And it doesn't mean that it needs to be in a fantasy world, in super realistic world. It should be a strategy game or shooter game. Build what you believe in, and then share it with game developers across the globe. And I promise you, there will be people who will love something and who will have something in common with you. I'm saying this to people who are inspired by this route as well, and they will share your vision. They will share your passion, and you will be able to join the team which has the same interest and the same belief and dream. What is very important, what I would also recommend to everyone, to spend your time and life to something you believe in and you love to work on. And this is why it doesn't mean that you need to join Gunzilla or any other game developers. Join people who have the same dreams and the same aims. This is what I would recommend you. And it can be achievable only if you build something you really love.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you so much, Vlad, for joining us. Thank you for sharing some of your dreams, the vision that you have, not just for gaming, but also the in-game vision as well. And I think this is, as you rightfully said, just the beginning of the beginning, so to speak. The release of the game represents the opening of a new chapter that is hopefully going to be and a very exciting one that involves a lot of one that brings a lot of joy to a lot of people. So I look forward to talking to you again and again, or to bringing on other members of your team to the show and exploring what happens on the blockchain and in the gaming universe. So with that, we can call this a close. And thank you so much once again for joining us, Vlad.
Thank you too. And I would like to also use this opportunity to say again, not only thank you, Gun, but I'm really grateful that Avalabs team and Avalanche team spent so much effort to make our dream come true. And we will always respect it. And it means a lot for us. Thank you
so much.
The whole Avalabs and Avalanche team for spending so much effort on building Gunzilla dream. You helped us a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great to hear. And I think the proof is going to be in the pudding. And I can't wait for the release. So we can't say when it's going to happen exactly, but we know it's coming up soon. And you're getting glimpses of the actual real in-game play. So I hope to see all of you in-game on chain. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.